Well, it's time for another update on where the restoration job on the Schaublin 102 is going. I've stripped back the tailstock electronically and gone over it with a buff, and as you can see, it came up pretty good. When I was going over it, I found traces of the original paint, and it looks like it was originally a very pale green. So if that's the case, I'll try and do it the same colour. I'll see a few on the internet, pale green, so I'll just match the colour they've used and do it on this one. Everything looks good. Obviously it'll need some filler in there. Even though it's a good casting, it needs preparation, so I'll go over it and put in a bit of filler, and then I'll probably spray it with enamel. I'm a lot better at spraying enamel than I am at spraying lacquer thinner. I always get a good finish with enamel. It would have been enamel originally, so doing it with enamel, I will fill it and then I'll etch prime it, and then I'll go over and put the enamel coats on. Probably 2 coats would do it. It's interesting looking at this because even though it's old, it's 90 years old, when you look at the base, you can see the machining on there is very nicely done, very well finished. When you look at the top, these end pieces, which you often see these lathes all polished up and shone up, are actually only in the original cast condition. I mean, I find it hard to believe that would be from rust pitting. That just doesn't look like rust pitting at all. It looks more like that's how it came out of the cast originally. I mean, it's possible it might have been machined up a bit, but it certainly doesn't look anything like that sort of finish. It's nothing like it. So I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm not going to polish that up at all. I mean, I'll paint it through this section here, but I think some of these lathes on the internet might be a bit overdone as far as restoration goes, so I'll try and keep it as much as close to original as I can. So there we go with that. Now the quill, that's pretty much finished, and it's actually good. No, everything's pretty right. The even on the end slot, there's only a tiny bit there. It's not bad. And then the bronze thread block, I made up a new handle for it. Turned out alright. And I also had to, well, they had some bodgy little nut on there, so I made up a brass block nut for it, make it slightly tight, and that way that will not come free. You won't need a spring washer or anything. And you can see the beautiful graduated scale on there, really nice. There's pitting on the numerical scale, but can't do much about that. I mic'd it up. There's a little bit of wear in there. It's not significant. When you clamp it down on the clamp, it should pull up okay. So overall the job's going nicely. I'm quite pleased with it, and as I said, yeah, for 90 years it's not bad. So the next step will be fill the tailstock where it needs it. It doesn't need a hell of a lot really, and then etch prime it and then mask it off and paint it. I haven't decided whether I'll paint in there or not. I see some of them, it's painted in the centre of the wheel. I'll probably just leave it for now. It's not really going to make much difference. It'll still look okay without being painted. If I feel like painting it, I can always do it later, but they're my thoughts on the matter at the moment. And once I finish the tailstock, well, then I'll move on to the cross slide and top slide and go right through that. There's obviously going to be a bit more work required on those because they've obviously seen a lot more activity as far as movement goes, and even though the dovetails look good, there's slop in the thread blocks, which I'll have to look at, and I'll either have to cut new thread blocks, or I'll have to build them up in some way. See what I can do anyway. But so that's where we're at. I hope you're finding this interesting, and I'll do another video later when I've got something interesting to show you. So there you go. See you.